In this video, we're going to go over single-dimensional arrays. Those sound pretty fancy, but they're really not. All an array is a list of items in order, and an array has to be all the same data type, so I can have an array of integers, an array of doubles, an array of strings. It's really whatever I want. So there are three different ways that I know of at least to declare an array. I only use two of them. I find the third way to be a little bit too much. So int, I type in the data type I want to be, which is int. All these three are going to be int. I press these two square boxes. You'll find those just above the enter key and to the left a little bit. Let's see. Then this is a single-dimensional array. I can do that for a double, for a three-dimensional array, for a four-dimensional array, and that goes as far as I want it to. You can have a 50-dimensional array if you want, as long as your computer can take it. And it can take a 50-dimensional array, but you normally don't go that big. Anyways, then I name the array. I'll call it array name, just for simplicity. Then I type in new data type, which in this case is int. And then here I create the size of the array, which I'm going to make it 3. There are a couple other ways to declare an array. Use this way if you don't really know what the numbers inside it are yet. If you want like the user to input the data, which we'll go into that probably in a different video, we would declare the array like this. If we already know the numbers we want and we just want to program those in there, we'll say array name 2 because we need a different array name. Let's say I want this to have 5 things in it. Let's say I want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's how I declare that array. And then the last one, something that I don't really use, and I actually had to look up the code for this because I really don't use it at all. Array name, also call it array name 3 equals new int. And then right here I would actually put the whatever I want it to be, so we'll just put 4 things in there. Notice this really does everything that's in here, it's just a little bit more code to do it, which is why it's something that's not used a whole lot. So let's say I want to print out one of these arrays. Say I want to print out array 2. You would think this right here would work, but I'll run this program, and it's going to print out something pretty weird. Prints out all this weird stuff down here, and that just has to do with how this data is stored. It's not something that this video is really going to get into. Let's say I want an individual element in the array. Let's say I want the first thing in array 2, or array name 2. I type in array name, and then you all know that computers start counting at 0, so it goes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, the first thing is the 0th element. So right here, this 0 will print out that one right there. So I'll run that program and print out 0. I can go through and print the whole array just by duplicating that line of code all the way till I get to 5, or all the way till I get to 4 actually. But that's a little it's a little much. Oh, sorry, this should be array name 2. Anyways, it'll print out 1 then 2. Here, so I could duplicate this code, but there's actually a quicker way to print that. I can use a for loop. So we'll say quick way to print, and then we'll go with a for loop. So for int I equals 0, while I is less than the array name 2.length. Anytime you're traversing the whole array, just say array name whatever .length minus 1. Oh, we want to increment I by 1. So we'll print array name 2, and then whatever that ith variable is. So we'll run that, and it prints 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, or a quick way to print is 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, it shouldn't be -1, it should be just .length there. I actually frequently test that whenever I'm inside my programs. So, quick way to print, and then it uses this for loop to print stuff. Then, what if you want to print out the array backwards? It's actually pretty easy to do that. Print array backwards. You just create the same for loop, except you do it in a different order. So for int I, and we'll set that equal to array name 2.length. While I is greater than 0, we'll subtract 1 from I, and then we'll print out array name 2I. We'll run that program, make sure that's printed out just fine. Oh, I'm sorry, whenever you go backwards, you use the -1. Alright, so print array backwards, 5, 4, 3, 2. So it should be greater than or equal to 0, because we would like to print out the 0th element. Oh. And this last program should work right here. So print array backwards, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, which is this array backwards. And there were a few mistakes there, but I think that's fairly instructive because you got to see how I would actually go through and figure out where the mistakes are at, and that's a good skill to have, so it's good to see an example of that. I just hope you liked the video. If you did, click that little button, the like one below. And if you have any questions about this or anything else in Java, please let me know and I'll try to answer them for you. Thanks for watching.